I'll go.
Yeah,
Oh,
I just hit the record, so whenever.
okay. So, I heard you all talking downstairs. So, a little bit about it sounded like the new Paltz Youth Program. Anyway, so I'd like to call the meeting to order and start by making a motion to approve the agenda that was circulated on the 2nd of January.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, so all in favor?
Aye.
All right, and are there any, like I said, I heard you guys talking a little bit, just any questions or opening remarks that anybody has or would like to make?
I was just mentioning to Cheryl about she was mentioning working collaboratively on a mural where she had to do some, was it cat portraits?
Cat
We
portraits,
had a bunch of
okay.
friends over for dinner. We do like a monthly dinner party, and when it was our turn to host, we set up a big canvas outside and some really inexpensive like acrylic paints that I got from like BJ's or something, and just let everybody kind of do what they wanted to do on it. And then the friend of ours who's like the big organizer of getting everybody together, I'm making a gift for her where I took that canvas and now I'm putting portraits of her cats on, like some kind of like pop art thing where pieces of the background are showing through as part of the cats,
Oh,
to give her as a gift. So
oh, that's really
I've been
neat.
working on that lately.
Uh-huh. That sounds like a fun project.
So that I mentioned to her maybe someday if she has like a 10 minutes, 15 minutes to come by and help out with our mural, kind of getting the darker tones in the background.
Yeah,
It's a big project.
it is. It's a huge project, and
Especially cross hatching. That's
yeah, yeah.
that's a commitment.
it is. It is. Yeah, it's almost meditative.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. So Alex, would you like to present the agenda?
Yeah. So it should go through these pretty quick. So let's see. A young woman by the name of Alison Porras. Uh, she has one more year after this at SUNY New Paltz. I don't think she started as a visual arts major, but she now, if that's not all that she does, that it's part of one of her majors that she's taken on is visual arts. So she's come by several times. We've been doing various drawings. And I asked her if she'd be interested in possibly helping teach at some point, and she said that she would. And this is the question that keeps coming up at our board meetings, is just how to sort of entice somebody to want to work here, maybe at first on a volunteer basis, or we're kind of doing a bit of an exchange thing right now. But beyond that, maybe I keep coming back to more students and more funders. So I'm going to be meeting with her in a couple of weeks because she was off for the break. But I'm going to talk with her about it too. It's like what are her long-term goals? She's really into what she calls splash art, which is, I guess I didn't know what it was. It's stuff that people do for video games, but it's not an animation. It's almost like the cover that is presented for a video game. And I looked up some work that they do, and it's a lot of it's figurative and all these crazy muscular characters doing all sorts of acrobatics, but it's figurative, so which is nice. And she actually told me that she was concerned that at SUNY New Paltz, she wasn't going to get. She told them that she was interested in animation and stuff, and she said that the response was at the visual arts program, it's like, oh, I'm not sure if we're going to be able to help you with that, which is in a way it's nice because it's direct. It's really saying that we don't. That's not what they're focusing on at SUNY New Paltz, and hopefully if enough people want to do that, then this could be a place where they do focus on like drawing for animation, which is stuff that I've been helping some of the students with. But anyway, if anybody has other ideas about how to really make it worth the while of especially college students who are already looking to, okay, after college, I need to start making money kind of thing. So feel free to let me know or email me. And down on the list, there are some things that we've been trying to do in that direction, trying to pick up some more donors and stuff. So I'll go through these one by one. So Kim Abramson, earlier this year, I did a drawing demo at the New Paltz Middle School. And Cheryl, thanks for connecting me up with, I think it was Janine.
Janine, yeah.
Janine, that was really helpful.
She's a force.
Yeah,
She loves like it's going to be sad when she has to move on to the high school because
right,
her kids are out of the middle school because
right.
she's really the one who's making stuff happen over there.
So yeah, she instantly got me in touch with Kim Abrahamson, the art teacher there at the middle school, and Kim was very, very happy to have me come over, and she seemed very generous in sharing information. And I have here as the next thing on the list that Rachel attended an English as a new language over at the middle school, and I think, Rachel, you said that Kim approached you and said something about possible.
Yeah, she came over and she's really it sounded like she was interested in doing a like possibly having you come in and just she talked about the animation club there at the middle school as well. Yeah. And just she said to, contact her and maybe set possibly, I don't know whether it's a thing where it would be an after school thing or sort of like the New Paltz Youth Program, or whether it's actually one of the hours of, in middle school, the way they break the days up, if it's something that would be during the day but something that she would be partially organizing.
So I did reach out I sent her an email. I think it was already now 3 or 4 weeks ago. So I should probably this would be a good time to follow up with her just to see, because I know that sometimes they get so swamped that it's really hard to.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, it seems like any transition time, like this time of year is a busy year or busy time just because it's, just coming back from the winter break, and then when then there's anyway they have the different transition times between blocks of study that the scheduling.
And I know at New Paltz, the Central School District in particular, the teachers were in the midst of negotiating contracts, so that was a thing that was taking up a lot of time. There's also a lot of talk about the upcoming capital project votes, so I think everybody's kind of a little over. Yeah, you're laughing because I'm sure you've seen some of the spirited discussion.
Spirited pool discussion.
Pool discussion.
Mostly a pool, yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, well, maybe I'll wait until, what is it? I'll wait until like later in January. I'll put that all up in late January. Okay. All right. So next one is again, just sending out stuff to banks that we haven't sent out stuff to, and I got a really very approachable person at MBT Bank asking me to send them a letter. Snail mail letter, just to let them know what we were looking for in terms of funding and what our program was about. So I did that, and I'll follow up with them next week just to make sure they got the letter. So then that brings us. I was wondering, Cheryl, I'm assuming that it was a one-time thing, but I just thought I would ask whether how it works with Starbucks, because I know that with the banks I've been getting more than one year of funding from
Mm.
some of them anyway. But is that something you could find out about? Is whether they like they might have a policy that says you know, you have to apply, you can't apply more than once every 5 years or something like that, or
I don't think that's the case as long as I approach it the same way that I did the last time. And maybe this time I'll also pull in some more statistics with how the Starbucks grant was able, the last one was able to impact the program.
okay,
So as long as we can prove some, what's the word I'm looking for? Sorry.
impact might be the thing. That's what they ask me all the time, is what the impact is.
Some correlation, as long as we can
Yeah,
prove some correlation between that and
yeah,
show how, like, I'll talk again about some of the things that I've done on it. And as long as everything kind of checks the boxes,
yeah,
there is no policy about applying for the same organization again, because I've seen several organizations be gifted multiple times.
okay,
Um, and if we can put in the impact, we might be able to actually get more than $1,000 too. Some of the, like, the bigger organizations that they have, they get like five to
yeah,
$10,000.
yeah,
So depending on the size and the impact, that's kind of how they
right,
go through and make the decision on the amount.
okay.
Um, but I think I was trying to look back and see, I think we got it in June last year, right?
That sounds about right.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I'm still just kind of trying to keep an eye on that communication and seeing when the next round is going to start. And then as soon as that happens, I also have a new team this year that's art based. So I'm working with the design team. So I think I could actually even get maybe some more people to nominate the organization also.
That'd be
And
great.
that could potentially help increase our chances of getting some more funding.
Uh-huh. That would be, you know, as far as the impact part of it, I wonder we could bring in this whole thing that we started doing at the New Paltz Youth Program. And I'll get to that. That's a little bit further down on the list, but it'll I think it could probably tie into that. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would think it would, because it's the impact is you're able to address more people in the community, address, yeah.
No,
so
and I think that partnership with New Paltz Youth Program is huge. We can definitely reach a lot more kids within that apparently somebody we don't know is here.
oh, somebody just showed up.
Yeah, like a professional guard dog.
Okay. Oh, okay. It's funny because I couldn't hear. I
Oh,
couldn't
you
hear.
you can't hear? Oh my gosh. This is really good Mike's
So,
Ella, that's
so-
enough.
and then, yeah, just a quick thanks, Cheryl, for you to even take the time to send out that inquiry. And I had no clue. I don't think this was like 2 years ago when I was looking into the New York State Council for the Arts thing. I didn't see anywhere where they said that there had to be like a minimum operating budget. But I did come upon that this time, and I'm glad I found it before I started, you know, filling out 100, you know, of their forms or questionnaires and stuff like that. But yeah, it's good to know, and we'll just keep it on. I think everything we're doing is laying the groundwork for eventually, just little by little. And this is, I don't know how everybody else feels about it, but I tend to say, you know, between the tortoise and the hare, I feel like I'm a little bit more like the tortoise, which I just like to go slow and steady and then just see things, obviously have the program grow, but not, it doesn't, it's okay with me if we're not even in 2 or 3 years ready for, you know, to apply for the Council of the Arts funding. So, but at least we're working up to it and getting, you know, getting some history, and that to me feels good. So.
I would agree because based on some of my other experiences in nonprofit work, those groups that do tend to grow really quickly run into other problems down the road because they don't have that time to build that foundation, and to check all the boxes,
Yeah,
cross all the T's and dot
yeah,
all the I's, and
yeah,
they find them later, and then they have to go back and do all of that
yeah,
work. And since we do have such a small board, with limited capacity, right? I'm aligned with taking it slow and steady and working our way up there. I think as we go through, we're getting closer and closer to that $20,000.
yeah.
I did see too, and I think the deadline was a little bit earlier. Um, with the New York Council for the Arts, I think there are other grants that we would qualify for next year, but the deadlines were sooner in the year.
Other grants that wouldn't have that minimum, or
Correct.
oh,
Yes.
so maybe, yeah. Would you be able to just send me a link to that, to the?
I will add a note to that. Yeah, I gotta dig back into that again.
Whenever again, it's not like a next week kind of thing. Whenever, just as a to have on your radar for because that would be interesting to find out, especially since it's not like it's coming up right away anyway. So it's let's see. So Alison Porras, we're doing this exchange that I mentioned earlier, where she wants to learn oil painting, basically, and in exchange, she actually helped fill out and send out a funding application to a couple of banks. One of them was Chase Bank, and she even emailed me saying, I'm at this part of the form, texted me at this part of the form, and I need this I need the employer identification number for the sevenfold. So I sent her that. So she seems to be really open to helping out, not just saying, I want to get this out of the program, but she's also, as part of the exchange, giving something back. So
In that same vein, how do we feel about trying to, and this might be something that's good for her because I feel like the application processes would be a little bit more similar. Um, going for grants from bigger foundations like the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, something from Amazon. I'm not sure how we feel about trying to get. I mean, the Starbucks thing is one thing because I'm connected to it,
yeah,
but I'm not sure how you both feel about reaching out to some of these larger corporations that have money that's burning holes in their pockets. But there is like that ethical piece of it, so I'm
yeah.
putting that out there.
That's a good. I recently also came across this one. Who would think that there's this association for classical arts. It's called the Alma Shapiro Prize.
Hmm.
And I was looking at where I could find out or any information on that, and I might follow up to see. And I found out about it through a person who does work at this atelier down in New York City called the Grand Central Atelier, where they do all figurative drawing. And she apparently was awarded this prize for, but maybe they have a prize for also for people that are. I think they did, because one of them was even like an architect or something like that. So it's it's like a broad grant that they give out. But I'll look into that and see. I'm open to it. It's just, again, the question, part of the question is, having done that NYSCA application a couple of years ago, that was a mammoth project. It was just really, and maybe it was just because it was the first time and setting it all up. But
And I think there's a big difference too in state funded grants versus corporate funded grants because there's a lot more, because it involves taxpayer money. I think there's a lot more um, kind of legal back end work that goes into those versus something from a corporation where they have a whole team of people that's
yeah,
just
yeah,
there and that's their job. And
yeah. So yeah, I'll look into also the Bill and Melinda Gates. I've heard a lot. They come up a lot in, I don't know, is it NPR where
mm,
they talk about.
Yeah.
So all right, so um, we're picked up. Oh, another student named Rex has started with us here, and he and Yvonne are working together, which is what I really eventually would like to have, is at the very least, two kids working together, if not maybe three kids at a time. I think three seems like per session, three seems like the capacity. Um, so this is where the next one is, where what I was mentioning at the New Paltz Youth Program. And so I've been doing, I think, 3 or 4 months now over there on Main Street, doing a quick 1-hour drawing workshop with usually with about 4 kids at a time. And it's different. They're younger, a younger group. They tend to be, I think, around the 6th grade level. So a lot of energy, is a lot of 6th grade energy, but good kids. And last month, this in December, one of the students here named Vlad helped me sort of as we were doing a follow along drawing where we were doing a simple snowman in a 3/4 perspective, how to make instead of a frontal view, how to do that and make the eyes and the nose go out in the right way. And Vlad was really helpful. He was going around helping some
I
of
love
the
it.
kids that were struggling and saying, oh, the eye is oval over here because you're looking, even though it's a circle when it's looking right at you, it's a little bit less of a circle because it's looking away. And I could hear him while we were doing that. So I'm gonna continue doing that. And Vlad's mom actually said that he's started to take an interest in possibly teaching at some point. So he's kind of on my radar. I know he's still pretty young. He just started high school. But who knows? Maybe he might be interested at some point.
Is that now is some of those works that are getting done there, is that something we can start sharing on social media a little bit more? Like, especially in that New Paltz community page, I'm thinking, because that's got a lot of reach.
Yeah,
Here's what we've been doing with the New Paltz Youth Program.
yeah,
If you're interested, reach out here.
yeah,
Here's what else we can offer, and show the pictures of not necessarily pictures of the kids, because that's a whole nother
yeah.
situation of needing approvals and whatever, but you can show the
Stuff that we've done.
stuff
Yeah.
that the kids are doing. Yeah.
Jim Tinger at the youth program, I asked him about photographing, and he said I think he's already got pre-approval for kids
Okay.
that are there to do that. And I did post, I think 2 on Instagram, 2 of the drawing workshops that I did over there. One of them is right before the holidays, and all the kids are wearing Santa hats and
Nice.
on the post. But it would be a good idea to do the New Paltz community Facebook thing. I don't know if it's funny because when I post to their group, I don't often get a lot of feedback, but maybe that's okay. Maybe it doesn't have to be, as long as it just keeps, getting out there, putting things out so that it becomes.
It's the consistency and the timing too. So it depends
Yeah.
on, like, if there's a couple threads, because the way it organizes it is the most recently interacted with.
Yeah.
So what usually happens, if I see you post something, I'll try to come in and interact with it so that it bumps it to the top of the page.
Yeah.
But we need more people kind of doing that in order to get it more visible,
Yeah.
because then you have things like the pool or whatever other local
To the pool.
ripe is the hot topic of the day. Those
Yeah.
get brought up to the top pretty quickly because you have a lot of commenting on it.
Yeah.
Not that I want us to be at that level of engagement,
Yeah.
because that usually means something wrong.
Yeah, it sometimes gets a little scary, actually. That's part of
It is a little scary. It's a little intimidating.
because it can quickly.
Some of the comments are so negative, and it's all it does feel scary.
Right.
So anyway, so we'll see. Okay. So the annual report is coming along. I've started the next one, and it's probably, I'm thinking mid-January. I'll have something that I could throw out as a draft to you guys, and send it out to either two. And if you see, again, as always, if you see any typos or if you see any images that you think, well, that doesn't reflect what our mission is that well, what if we did this instead? Then again, feel free to just comment on it. But I'm thinking, yeah, January 15th as a target date to have that review. That's something I could send out for you all to take a look at. And then finally, the Elting Library, we're scheduled to show work that is being done here by the students and by myself. And I'm wondering about the different, one of the things that I always seem to have the most challenge with is promoting exhibits, promoting things in generally, but in this case, promoting exhibits. And I did meet with, I sent you all a link to this painter whose name is Colleen Barry. I met with her earlier in 2024. She was super friendly and super generous in giving me a tour of this space down in New York City, Grand Central Atelier. And I thought, what if I, since we are focusing mostly on figurative work, I see a running out of time thing here. Anyway, I'll check in with her, and maybe if you have any ideas on promoting this exhibit in November, just let me know. And I think that's my sign to sort of stop there.
I can definitely help with like the social media promotion part of that. I kind of have a couple of ideas on how we can, saturate but not oversaturate with promotion. And I also, the only other thing I wanted to bring up was thinking about how we might work with other art nonprofits that are in the community and partnership with them. I know Roost Art Gallery now has a home again,
Yes. Yeah.
like a
Mhm.
physical space. I've interacted with Marcy a couple times. Now I know that they do a similar thing where they do a scholarship for youth, but
Yeah.
I know that their focus isn't necessarily on the figurative part. So
Yeah.
how can we fit in to that niche and, collaborate on using the space, doing some kind of partnership with them?
Mhm.
Um, Unison, I never ended up hearing back from the new director.
Mhm.
Um, and then there's a new place, and I can't remember, my French is terrible. It's a Atelier that took over the old Unison space out on Mountain Rest Road.
Oh.
They seem to be pretty community minded. Just at first glance, I went to a uh, a gathering of sorts there, and they I don't I don't believe they charged for the gathering. I think they were very open minded. So something to start maybe talking to them about and see what their mission is and what they
Yeah.
hope to accomplish with their space, and how might we be able to do something along with them. We can even take the gallery show from Elting and put it in each of these other two spaces too.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll look into them and see if they have some kind of website or social media thing. That last place that you mentioned.
And it
But
could be really cool if we did like when we did an exhibit, we have a moment of like the live drawing there in happening in the moment.
Mhm.
Like they do with some of these bigger exhibits in art museums where you have the artist present and you can watch the work happen in real time. I think that could be really cool.
Yeah.
Hey kids, for 2 hours we're gonna go sit and
Do
draw
cross
live.
hatches.
Yeah, yeah,
That's,
that could be
It
really
reminds
interesting and get people to come out.
yeah.
Yeah, that would be, was thinking about a while back when you did have that show at Roost.
Mhm.
Remember, and you had things set up
Yeah.
so
An
that
interactive thing where they could
that
sit
sort of
down.
interactive is, I think that would be really neat to make that as part of the exhibit. I mean, probably you're going to be somewhat confined by the space,
I could
We
check.
could even
but
do something simple like here's, have an orange with a spotlight on it, and you give people 15 minutes to on like little pieces of little canvases or little pieces of paper. We could do little even table-sized easels,
Yeah.
and set people up and see like what can you accomplish in 15 minutes and do something just simple like a sphere with the light and the dark and
It
really
sounds
get
a lot
people
like
to
that
see
grid
something.
setup that we did in Roost this was back in 2019, but yeah, that sounds like fun.
I think that'd be
yeah,
really
All right. So, well, thanks again, everybody, for taking the time.
yeah.
to-
Thank you.
of
All
course.
right, um, so it's time for us to adjourn the meeting, and let's see. I've got my let's see. So I'd like to make a motion to adjourn the meeting. Would someone like to second this
I'll second.
motion? All right, so all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And so the meeting is now adjourned. And our next meeting tentatively is for Saturday, April 5th. At same time, 11 o'clock.
Yeah, it's fluid as
So-
usual. So we'll see as time gets closer.
Sounds good now,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Well, thank you.
All right. Thank you all. Have a great day. And
Ready
happy
Thank
holidays.
you, you too.
to
Bye.
take
Bye.
care.